Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Samurai Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. And today we are having another discussion video, and the discussion video is going to be regarding the deck Evil Heroes. Now, Evil Heroes are a little known sort of offset of the heroes, and by little known I mean that if many heroes are very, very well known, such as Elemental Heroes, Destiny Heroes, Masked Heroes, these guys are sort of like off in the corner, and they're even below Vision Heroes in some sense, barely ever run in anything, but still kind of exist as part of an extension of the Elemental Hero archetype, if not in name, but in general theme. These cards were primarily used by Jaden when he became the Supreme King, and were used against a good number of the characters introduced in Season 3, like Jesse and Axel and James Crocodile Cook. So, they never really got some time out against the Season 1 or Season 2 sort of guys. But nevertheless, I wanted to mention these kind of cards because they were very, very sort of tied to Jaden's time as the Supreme King, yet it seemed like an archetype that stopped halfway. What do I mean by this? Well, all of the evil hero monsters are kind of evil versions of monsters that already exist in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Lexicon. Some of the fusion monsters, for instance, even use normal elemental heroes. When running an evil hero deck, it's not uncommon to see the cards Avian Burstinatrix, Sparkman, Clayman, and Wildheart come into play as all of the cards that kind of revolve around evil hero fusions. We also often see that Jaden is using the alternate arts of these cards, or certain types of alternate arts of these cards, in order to basically show that he's quote-unquote a little bit more evil, and he's not using, his original kind of elemental heroes that he sort of grew up with. So basically, some of the cards in this archetype have a little bit more support than some of the other ones. And while each one of them as a fusion is, theoretically speaking, I guess, like better than the fusion that came before it, that the fact that they're worse stems from the fact that a lot of the support cards out there only search elemental heroes, or only allow them to go for elemental heroes, and the restrictive nature of evil heroes being only special summoned by Dark Fusion or Dark Hauling, not to mention they also all have no synergy with cards like Skyscraper, or with some of them can't be searched by E-Emergency Call. There's a lot of different factors that sort of come into play here when wanting to create an evil hero deck. And I've played a little bit around with it and tried out my general elemental hero build tuned up to be able to incorporate evil heroes. But this is still something that a lot of people don't really think about too much. And so, when you think about evil heroes as a card type or as a monster type, I think that, there's something completely different from heroes, because technically none of the real support cards, except for maybe like mask changes and stuff, even work on these guys. So, starting off, of course, with the E-Hero or Evil Hero guys, fusions, they're still both technically E-Heroes. We have the fusion monsters that are the combinations of the original heroes. So that's Evil Hero Infernal Wing, Lightning Golem, and both of those are based on Flame Wingman and Thunder Giant, respectively, and in some situations are actually better than both of those. Then there's Evil Hero Infernal Sniper, which is the that's the Rampart Blaster clone. We have Evil Hero Wild Cyclone, probably one of the best ones out there. And then we have, of course, guys, Evil Hero Malicious Fiend and Evil Hero Dark Gaia to round out the numbers there. Malicious Fiend, I guess, is a Blade Edge one, and, he's kind of around like Malicious Edge and stuff like that. So a little bit into each of these monsters, and the differences between them. So Evil Hero Inferno Wing is a monster that allows you to inflict piercing damage, and then when it destroys a monster your opponent controls by battle, inflict damage equal to either their attack or defense, whichever one is higher. So really, really good, and on paper, much better than Flame Wingman. But you got to run Dark Fusion, which is unsearchable, and your Avions and Burstinatrixes are searchable, but Dark Fusion or Dark Calling are not. So that's one thing. It's like the searchability that heroes got with polymerizations and other things like that. You can't use these guys to summon something like Infernal Wing. So, that's a little bit of a problem, but it's all right. And then the next card, of course, we've got is Evil Hero Lightning Golem. This card is kind of the Thunder Giant clone, and like Thunder Giant, it also has a monster destruction effect, but unlike Thunder Giant's, its effect is completely free. So you don't have to discard things, and you don't have to control a monster or your opponent doesn't have to control a monster with lower attack power, which means you can just summon Lightning Golem and get a free pop. And back in the GX era, this was absolutely insane. No free pops in the GX era. That is one fact that is true for sure. But Evil Hero Lightning Golem is probably one of the best, and one of the ones that you'll go for at least the most often out of any of them. Evil Hero Wild Cyclone is the next one that we're going to be talking about, and he is absolutely amazing. He's kind of like an Ancient Gear. When he attacks, your opponent can't activate spell or traps, and then when he attacks in and inflicts battle damage, then you can destroy all face-down spell or trap cards that your opponent controls. Really, really good. Even though he's got 1900 attack and 2300 defense, kind of like his counterpart, Wild Wingman, he's still a lot better than Wild Wingman, who has to discard to activate its effect. And if this effect was on Wild Wingman, let me just tell you, that would be the staple card I'd be bringing out all day, all the time. So really, really awesome card, and definitely worth it for a Dark Fusion summon. The next card, of course, is Infernal Sniper. Infernal Sniper is the combination between Burstinatrix and Clayman for the Evil Heroes. This card just basically allows you to it's indestructible by spells, and then during each of your standby phases, you can inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. So it's kind of got that direct attack-ish nature that Rampart Blaster has before they errated it to be absolutely just disingenuous with the way that Jaden used it in the anime. But Evil Hero Inferno Sniper sort of carries that same aspect with it, but it has to wait one more turn in order to inflict the damage and can't do it outright. So that just takes a lot of use out of the card. The last two cards, of course, guys, are Evil Hero Malicious Fiend and Evil Hero Dark Gaia. So starting out with Dark Gaia, because Dark Gaia is kind of a weird one that Jaden used against James C. Cook, and it actually is not really run in Evil Hero decks, and more so has its own kind of strategy structured around it. It's kind of like the UFO-roid fighter of the Evil Heroes, except much better, because it takes one hero monster, or one fiend-type monster, and one rock-type monster. So any fiend and any rock can come together to take this. A lot of people usually run like high-level or high-attack power rock monsters like Valkyrion the Magnet Warrior, and other like really high-level fiends like Ultimate Obedient Fiend to be able to get as much attack power out of a Dark Gaia as possible. And he actually used this against James C. Cook's, Gaia Plate the Earth Giant, and you utilize that card to be able to just, utilize that along with Super Polymerization, which unfortunately is a card that you are not able to run, but nevertheless would be very, very useful in an Evil Hero deck, I'm sure. But that's sort of that focus. And then the last Evil Hero Fusion monster that we're going to go over, guys, is going to be Evil Hero Malicious Fiend. Now, Evil Hero Malicious Fiend is a level 6 dark, it's a monster that requires Evil Hero Malicious Edge and one level 6 or higher Fiend-type monster, or level, whatever, the 6 or higher dark monster, I believe it just sort of comes out to be. But basically, this guy forces all of your opponent's monsters into attack position during their battle phase, and they must attack him, which is pretty dastardly, especially because he's got 3,500 attack power and can really do a lot of damage. One of the highest attack hero fusions currently in the game. So that's also something that I think a lot of people sort of look over or gloss over when they think about this card, and it can end up doing a good amount of damage to an unaware opponent. So, you know, definitely something for you guys to watch out for. Some people actually run like Maliciouses and things like that to be able to get into Malicious Fiend, but Malicious Edge and any of the level 6 or higher fusion monsters that you summon usually will be able to satisfy the requirement to bring this guy out. So, another solid hero for the lineup, but definitely one to watch out for. So, now we're doing on to that. Let's get into the main deck monsters, guys. And the main deck monsters have a lot of synergy as well, but it's not as much due to the fact that they are nearly unsearchable. So, the main deck monsters that you'll find, guys, are going to be Evil Hero Malicious Edge, which combines together with Malicious Fiend, Evil Hero Infernal Gainer, and then Evil Hero Infernal Prodigy. And I'll go through all of them fairly quickly. So Malicious Edge is just basically when your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this guy to the field. He's got the same Blade Edge piercing effect that basically, yeah, the Blade Edge has like the same piercing, but he can also be tribute summoned with using only one tribute when your opponent controls a monster. So very, very kind of cool card. He's a little bit easier to get out than Blade Edge, if a little bit harder to search. Evil Hero Infernal Gainer is actually really, really good because you can banish it on your side of the field for 2 standby phases or 2 turns, and it comes back during your second standby phase, and then the monster you target with it, which has to be a fiend, can attack your opponent twice during every single battle phase. And it doesn't just do that until it comes back. It's every subsequent battle phase. So even if it gets wiped, basically you just pay that cost for Infernal Gainer once, and the monster is able to attack twice. Very, very cool card. And then finally, of course, Evil Hero Infernal Prodigy. The Prodigal Son can special summon himself to the field when you control no monsters in attack mode, and then usually you use him to tribute for Malicious Edge, because when he's tributed for the tribute summon of a hero monster, at the end of the turn, you can draw a card from your deck. So, basically, running over the strengths and weaknesses of Evil Hero monsters, it ends up being that the strengths overwhelmingly favor sort of the Evil Hero aspect of things, where the weaknesses kind of come in and are not really as pronounced, but it's not really as pronounced in the main deck monsters, but in just filling out the rest of the deck with things that can search them and things that synergize with them, you'll notice that even though the elemental heroes look objectively worse on paper individually, it's all of the cards that sort of work together to help you get those cards on the field. Using polymerizations instead of dark fusions and dark callings, having access to miracle fusion, skyscraper, a hero lives, like all of this kind of stuff that allows them to just be able to get out of the deck easily and be able to generate you advantage easily. It's just very, very good. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. And if you guys liked it, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe on the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. And I will catch you guys next time.